Hello, welcome. It is still Friday, April the 25th. There's been a shower. Did I shower before? Maybe I showered before I did the other video. Because I did the taste test of the Mountain Dew Bajaja Cabo Citrus Punch. And I had my pizza slice in the microwave. I did. Yes. I've eaten that. It took a minute. Well, I sat down on the couch and then Minxie jumped up in my lap because I hadn't been home all day. You don't know I hadn't been home all day because we haven't got to that part of the story yet. But yeah, I hadn't been home for most of the day, and so Minxie was on my lap, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? What are you? She's sitting on my mouse and she's clicking on things. Ma'am. She was asleep back here for the longest time, and then I decided I want to get up and try to make my video. Answer my question for the week. Amongst other things, my update. We always have to chitty chat before we get chitty chat bang whatever before we get started on the important stuff. I don't know. But yes, and then because I sat down, Minxie sat down, curled up on my lap, and I fell asleep for a bit. So it is now 9:30. I was listening to music for a bit too. That did happen. And I'm tired. Yeah, we'll get to that. The only way to start this video is to say, Stephen, if you're watching, hello. It was nice to meet you today. I didn't even know, I met a fan today. Apparently he's been watching my videos for 10 years. He said him and his brother, at least, took a selfie with me. He said I'm a local celebrity. I appreciate that, Stephen. I don't think I'm at that level yet, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. So it was a very nice experience. And he says he's got his equipment and he's been thinking about doing his YouTube videos. And so Stephen, this is your call. This is your call to arms to finally take that leap and do it. Do it for yourself. Do it for the world. Whatever. So if you ever get your YouTube channel started, give me a holler. I'll let people know what's going on and let them know to come over and check you out. But yeah, there was an Arbor Day event thing for Parks and Rec. Planted a couple trees in front of the community center. I guess they did some stuff on campus too. And that's where I met him, was at that event. So hello, if you happen to be watching this one. So yeah, that's that's the biggest news of the day. So it's very nice. Thank you for making me feel important, I guess. It's a pleasant surprise to have people come up and say, want to meet you. I guess it's just I can't say you're I appreciate it, Stephen, but Robin gets the first. I took a picture thanks to her daughter Michelle, kind of bringing our worlds together, collide. So Robin. Well, it technically wasn't a selfie. It was a picture of the two of us together. So maybe use the first selfie that I've taken with somebody. So that was nice. Thank you very much. I don't know, compliments make me feel weird, I guess. It's kind of but thank you. I just kind of I have self-deprecating humor. I'd rather throw shit at myself than compliment myself, I guess. So it's just kind of weird when other people do it, but I do appreciate it. Don't stop, please. But It was cool. It was cool. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Stephen. As far as everything else going on, I still have a hole in my bathroom ceiling. He hasn't been back to fix that. He said he said it would be at least by this week, and it was not this week. So, and I don't think he's going to work on it on the weekend. So that's fine. Didn't make that much of a deal to me. Every once in a while, like, I think my upstairs neighbor must have like a air freshener or something, because I think I smell like, I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's flowery or what. I don't know. It's just kind of a pleasant scent, I guess. Not the sort of thing that you'd think would come from a bathroom, but here we are. Oh yes, and I did, because of the Arbor Day thing, there was some group in town that was wanting to get rid of honeysuckle. They say it's an invasive species, which just reminded me that I took a couple of clips with my phone, and I'll add those in at the end of the video. So, just quick little, quick little clippy quippies, but yeah, we were going to go until 7 p.m., but they ended up cutting us off at 5 p.m., so, and I stayed because it's like, I mean, it's Friday for me, I can crash out, and I did a little bit at some point, I know, because, I was here waiting to get my food. But so yeah, we were climbing around in the woods. I was the painter, because what they had us do was like cut down the honeysuckle, whatever, and then we had tarot. Tarot is the the thing that Gail does with the cards. But some kind of poison stuff, and he said the best way to do it, he had us these little bottles, because this is a very professional group that goes out and does these things. Had a little bottle with a little paintbrush, and what he said was the best thing to do, because that would keep it from spreading to anything else in the area, because whatever this poison is, could potentially kill other things too. But you just take that, just take your paintbrush, and then the stump or whatever, you just paint, put some of the whatever. I did have a little tattoo there for a little while, but I guess I came home and took a shower and washed it off. So can't remember what it was called. It started with a T something. But yeah, you just take that and you paint over the stump to make sure that it doesn't grow back. It's kind of what we were doing. So we found a little waterfall out there that I didn't know was, well, it was a like kind of a drainage thing, but there was, we've had a lot of rain lately, so there was a lot of water coming through it. So that was kind of neat. I'm not usually over on that side of Lions Lake very much, so it was a different perspective for me. And then definitely climbing down in the woods. Are you done with your moment, ma'am? She's having the crazies. The zoomy crazies. At the moment. Stealing the spotlight. Always. Fuck's sake. But yeah, climbing down in the woods, I didn't know that little drainage ditch, waterfall, pond thing was back there. But yes, I'll have a couple of clips of that toward the end. So, I was thinking there was the only other update that I have is the trip that Sean Merrilee and I are going on in July. We are no longer going to St. Louis. I forgot to mention that last week. Because Sean couldn't get his days off or something, or he couldn't get one day off so we had to shorten the trip a little bit. And so now we're just going to go back to Springfield. We didn't really get a chance. We did the Pythian Castle while we were there. That was basically what we went down there for, was the Pythian Castle. So we didn't really explore. I almost said Sedalia, but that's not right. Springfield, very much. Go back to Lambert's, of course. So there'll be. So we're going to Springfield instead of St. Louis. So just a little update. I don't even think I told Gail that, because we were trying to work it out to where Gail could come with us, because he had just mentioned in his videos about St. Louis and the Limp Mansion and everything, and then it didn't end up working out, because it's kind of like, you know, I just kind of came up with it at the, you know, the last minute, kind of like just got a wild hair and was like, Mary Lee shared something in our group chat. I say group chat, it's her, Sean, and myself. That's our group for our little adventures that we do. And it's like, oh yeah, let's go do that, you know, because we're always ready to jump an adventure at the drop of a hat. So, but yes, we're doing Springfield instead of, well, we're definitely doing Springfield instead of Sedalia, but not St. Louis. We are not doing St. Louis anymore. That was a recent development that I should have told you about last week, but forgot. Pshaw. Yes, and next weekend, I don't really think I'll film anything next weekend. I'm going to hang out with a family friend in Joplin, but it'll probably just be doing like some thrift shopping kind of thing. But so I doubt there'll be much to film. I probably won't bother filming next weekend, our little mini adventure, because it's going to be kind of like a fly-by overnight kind of deal, and then come back home. That's going to be about it. Steven did ask me about trips today, and Vacay 2025 is terraforming, maybe. Sean is going with us again this year, and we've kind of been discussing plans. We mentioned the House on the Rock to him, so we're going to be going back there because he's never been there. And the Wisconsin Dells is very close to there, and he kind of wants to explore the Wisconsin Dells, so we're going to do that. At least this is the plan at the moment. And he wants to go. There's the Dark Sky Park. I know Mom and I were out there at the Dark Sky Park during the day and off season. So there's like some kind of visitor center there, but it was closed when we went. We weren't able to look at. I don't know if it's a visitor center or museum or what the heck it is, but we weren't able to get in there and look at it. So I don't know if we will now. But we're going to be up there like 3 days, 3 nights. Sean wants to try to see the Northern Lights. So we have 3 nights to try. You know, I don't know if we're going to be out there every night trying to find the Northern Lights. And we're close enough. Sean does want to go into Canada. I don't know what we're going to do in Canada, because we're going to cross over at the Sault Ste. Marie area. But because that's what Mom and I were talking about. Like, I mean, we're fitting in a bunch of things. Like, you know, these were all things that like we did over many years, many different trips up to Michigan, and we're trying to fit in a lot of them in one go. Sean can always come back with us. You know, I guess Mom's saying we might go back to Michigan in 2 years, not next year. But anyway, so that's tentative plans for Vacay Day this year. So nothing else is coming to mind, but that's the gears are not turning very well up there right now, because I haven't had much sleep. Because, you know, I get off work at 7 in the morning, and then I go into Parks and Rec at 8, and then, like I said, stayed until 5 p.m. today. So I got a little cat nap with a cat on my lap, you know, snuggled in tight. So let's see how this goes. All right, let's see if I can think for a question. Which is, this week's question is, if you could go back in time 2 years and tell yourself one thing, what would it be? If I could go back in time 2 years, we're being very specific about this, 2 years, and tell yourself one thing, what would it be? Well, you know, I would probably warn myself about the blood clots, but I don't know what to do to avoid them. You know, because, I mean, apparently it's a medical mystery. Like, even the doctors couldn't figure out how these blood clots formed. They know they probably formed in my legs and traveled up to my lungs. They know that. That's kind of the path they assume it took. But nobody really knows why. I mean, now I'm on the Eliquis, you know. So that seems to be taking care of everything, because I think it was last week I said, you know, all the scans are coming back good, clean, clear, you know, no more blood clots, which probably means I'll just have to fucking be on Eliquis for the rest of my fucking life, but, you know, kind of hoping not to deal with that sort of thing for another couple years, you know, like, for fuck's sake, Jesus. Let me get to half a century, and then maybe, like, this bullshit. Oh my god. But, I got off track. Yes. But yeah, nobody really knows anything to tell me how to... I mean, even if I go back 2 years in time to tell myself, hey, by the way, you got blood clots. You're gonna form blood clots. I don't know how to... I don't know how to tell you to not get them, because the doctors don't even know how to tell you not to get them. Other than to be on Eliquis for the rest of my fucking life. Great, yay. Yay, love it. There's not really any preventative measures I could have taken. Though I guess I could tell myself, you're gonna feel very weird in December. You're gonna assume it's just because you were sick. You're gonna try to walk to work and you're gonna pass out by the laundry room. Luckily, you know, your neighbor will be there, and he'll be doing laundry. He will, you know, come pick you up off the ground and make sure you're okay. But apparently that's very serious, and you should go get that looked at, because I did not do that night. I just came back to the apartment, sat here, and fell asleep. And then, you know, woke up the next day and went about my business. You know? But that's the same thing, the shortness of breath, the dizziness, the, like, I'm almost going to pass out. That's what happened that day of the incident, when I actually did go to the hospital and found out I had blood clots. So, and then they said, oh, it looks like you've had a heart attack before. So, apparently that time, you know, blood clots were involved. I mean, I assume it's a very similar situation, what happened in that January? I think it was January. I don't think it was it the same year? Maybe it was the same year. Maybe it was just earlier that year. I don't know. But I guess I could tell myself, this incident is going to happen, and it is apparently very serious. I've had multiple people tell me I shouldn't have survived it. Apparently. So just go get it checked out. You know, at least the first time turned out to be okay, since I didn't really, you know, I just kind of assumed, like I said, I was sick or something, and I did not know how serious it could have been, and possibly was, because the second time, you know, apparently it was very serious, you know. Had to go get blood clots sucked out of me, and I mean, I didn't have to. I could have declined the offer, but I figured, you know, it was probably best to just go ahead and get it. I don't want to go through that again. So if I have to stay on the Eliquis for the rest of my life and not too much information, if you like, you can pause or mute me for a minute if you want to mute me, but it's like, you know, having a tube shoved up in you, because it's like, I mean, I guess I was on muscle relaxants. I wasn't like completely unconscious for it, because I didn't want to. I was like, I don't need to be awake for this at all. You can knock me the fuck out. It's fine. But it wasn't so bad. But every once in a while, because it's like they had to go in through, you know, my groin and stick this tube up in me to get up to my lungs, but then it's like they had to go through my heart to get to the lungs or something and whatever. But like a couple times, like I felt the tube going through my chest, and it's like it was so uncomfortable, and I'm like, I know you're doing good work right now, but like I'd rather not be experiencing this. So if the Eliquis, I guess you can unmute me. You can come back now I'm done giving away too much information about things. But it's like, so if I have to stay on the Eliquis for the rest of my life to never experience that again, I guess that's good. But I guess I mean preventative measures. Before my health got worse, I guess, and you know, I could say, you know, go get tested. I don't even know. I don't know. Since I didn't go to the doctors that first time when it happened, that, you know, that would be the only thing I could say is go to the doctor, get checked out. You know, you might have some blood clots that need taken care of before it gets serious. That would be probably the most important thing to tell myself 2 years ago. It's just, but there again, it's like they didn't know when it was. I don't, you know, like what caused it. There'd be no like preventative measures to be taken. So I don't know. Otherwise, I would tell myself, hey, by the way, do this, and you won't get. You know, you'll avoid those blood clots. You'll avoid all these medical bills. Money's so fucking stupid. Money can't buy happiness, but being able to pay my bills makes me happy. Not having to stress about paying my bills makes me happy. So, roundabout way. Money causes happiness. So give me some. But yes, I guess that's what I would tell myself. I don't even know if the doctors could have, like, prevented what happened. Since, I don't know. I mean, I guess they could have done scans and seen that I had the blood clots and done something about them before they lodged themselves in my lungs. I guess. Which is probably would have been I mean, you know, it worked out okay so far for me. Still here. So, but yeah, not to have to go through, you know, not have to put mom through panic and terror, I guess, would be good. You know, so, you know, that's probably good. That's probably good. So I guess if anything could have been done about my blood clots 2 years ago, I would have been like, hey, by the way, maybe go get a scan for some, you know, of some sort. Maybe somebody will be able to tell you something and, you know, do some preventative measures to make sure that shit don't happen. Probably best. Or I could take back a winning lottery ticket. And I can pay for all the medical bills I need. Boom. Boom fire. Yeah. But anyway, so that's probably the most important thing to tell myself 2 years ago. So yes, that's it, I guess, for the week. Unless I come up with another, like, surprise taste test. I've done that twice recently. With the Sprite, the tropical Sprite, and the, Cabo Mountain Dew. But, I managed to stay conscious this entire time, so good for me. I don't know which videos it is, but I have fallen asleep on camera Like, twice. I believe it has happened twice where I, like, dozed off in the middle of a sentence. Or something, and then I'm like, whoa. Jiminy Christmas. But anyway, that's that. I'll probably do the question earlier next week, because I'm probably still going to go ahead and work Parks and Rec. Because Mom probably won't get off until 3, I assume. I don't know if she'll get off earlier. I guess I'll find out on Friday, or, well, sometime next week. So I was planning on still working Parks and Rec that day. And then it's like, I mean, if I gotta be home by noon, I gotta be home by noon, Whatever, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But, I'll try to, get my question done very quickly before Mom gets here, so that, stuff and things. Yes, I hear sirens. Sirens. Tempting me to the deep. Goodness. Alright, well, this is just random thoughts coming out of my head at this point. So, I'm gonna go get this uploaded shut before I pass out. So, have a good weekend, and I shall share.